As this image shows, you can't see a head staring in the rear view mirror. And recently I've added to the group coaching, and there were a bunch of questions in the assessment form that I've asked people to complete that really pointed out looking forward versus looking in the past and the importance of focusing on what's in the future. So I wrote down a few notes I wanted to cover with you, and I hope this helps. But there's a reason that the rear view mirror is small and the windshield is larger, and that is that what's in front of you is far more important usually than what's behind you. Now, it's natural to look at the mistakes you've made, look at the lessons that they can teach, but the important part of that is to go ahead and take those lessons, implement them, and then work to a solution for them in the future so you don't repeat them. You are going to make mistakes. That's going to be normal. But don't let those derail you. And a good example of that is I've got a mentee who, right around the time of COVID, got 14 LOIs. Those 14 LOIs took a lot of work to get, as anyone who's put together and secured an LOI would know. All of them evaporated during COVID. Businesses were shut down, etc. We could have spent our time, and truth be told, I took a piece of that deal so that you just understand that. But truth be told, we could have spent our time thinking about, oh, woe is me, we lost 14 LOIs, what are we going to do now? But we didn't do that. We said, okay, how are we going to move forward? And that person in between 2022 and now has 52 locations that have been acquired. So glad that we didn't let that derail us, certainly. So again, learn from it. Don't let it change your momentum going forward and derail you. But look at that and say, what did I learn from it? Rather than why did this happen to me? Why not? It happens to you. It's a better question to ask if you're going to ask that question. But think about what it is that I learned from that. And certainly, as I say a lot, action is the antidote for almost all these issues. Is that when in doubt, take action. A lot of people end up saying, well, I'm going to take more time to learn something and I'm not quite ready, et cetera, et cetera. But I want to share a story with you that shows the difference in the same person. I had a mentee that was following up, sending letters, doing cold calls. And he talked to a person he asked if they were interested in potentially selling the business. And they said, well, yeah, but I want to think about it a little bit. Call me in 2 weeks. So he didn't call in 2 weeks. He forgot to call in 2 weeks. And it turned out to be about 6 weeks. He called back that same person and said, I misplaced it or whatever he said. But, I just wanted to follow up now and ask you, do you still want to talk about selling your business? And that person said, wow, that opened my eyes. And since we talked, I've acquired 3 businesses. Wow. Talk about a gut punch. But he learned that lesson well. The next deal that he got done, and I know this is hard to believe, in 9 days from initial contact through getting it done and signing the closing as well. So did he learn his lesson? Yeah, he learned his lesson to follow up, take action, don't let those lack of actions delay you, increase your momentum. And then certainly you can get stuck in these things, and if you focus too much on the past and the limits and the problems that you've seen, it will put limits on your confidence. It will put limits on your ability to move forward. So you can't start the next chapter of your life if you're living that previous chapter. So just remember that. Remember that you will fail your way to success. A lot of people say, I'm afraid I'm going to make a success. You will make mistakes. Just understand that. You've got presumably a team around you, mentors, partners, whoever that is, that you have as resources. You can learn from those people. They've probably been through the same experiences. So I hope those help. I would just challenge you to reflect on one thing holding you back and then take an actionable step towards dealing with that. Are you afraid to make cold calls? Make a cold call. You're going to find in time that disappears. Are you afraid to talk to what you perceive as big hitters? You're going to find that most of those big hitters are some of the easiest calls that you're going to have, certainly. So I hope that helps. Your future success isn't in the rear view mirror. It's waiting for you. Look towards that windshield. Don't look in the rear view mirror, and hit the gas. And if you do that and take action and know what to do, you'll be in a much better position to succeed. If you don't know the steps, you should know the steps. Just go over to brucewhipple.com. The Acquisition Advantage Bootcamp is a great way to learn those steps, and keep pushing. Keep taking action. If you don't know what to do, learn what to do, learn from your mistakes, and you'll be in a much better place than if you dwell on what happened in the past. Awful lot of people live in the past and let that generate what they do. Think about the lessons that you've learned, but certainly think about also, am I thinking about the past or think about what I want to do? And that's a process of discipline, but keep your mind on what you want and off what you don't want, and the results I think you'll see are very different.